Hi everyone. In this video, I'd like to show you what is needed to be done in order to have the ability to display different Shop the Look bundles on the same page template. For instance, if you want to display a bundle on a blog post, but a different bundle on each post, then you need to use Metafields and MetaObjects in order to achieve this, because otherwise the content that you enter into the section via the theme editor, you'll have the same content on all the posts. So generally, there's a few steps. There are 4 steps to do. The main stages are to set up a meta object definition, then create a Shop the Look entry or multiple entries, associate the meta object to your template, and then assign specific entries to your specific posts or pages. So we'll use an example of adding a post to, or a Shop the Look bundle to a blog post in this example. So the first thing you have to do is you have to define a meta object. To do that, you head over to your admin. Over on the left, click on content, and then meta objects is already there. So you want to create, to add a definition. So let's add a definition. In the name, you'll add Shop the Look. It could be anything you want that that'll remind you, but Shop the Look would be the most natural one because we'll be reusing this meta object. Then under fields, we have a lot of fields to add. So you would click on add, click on single line text. This single line text it's not going to be used on the front end. It's more for you to be able to identify the bundle itself that you're going to use. So up here, let's just call it bundle 1. Just like that, and then make sure this is used as a display name. The rest, make sure it's a one value. These aren't really necessary. Next field would be a featured image. The feature image is the image that is right over here, the main image that you're going to put the dots on. So we'd go over and click on File, and then in the name, featured image. You could add a description, it's not necessary. Make it one file, and then down below here, we don't allow videos, so just unclick videos and leave it set as images and click add. The next one would be a featured image for mobile. So featured image mobile, like that, and then the same thing. The image isn't necessary, it's not required to add in, but you should have it in if you want a different format for an image for the mobile version. The next field would be a product. So let's add the product and let's call it product. Now, if you're going to want actually multiple products in each bundle. So you could select, you could call this product 1 or whatever descriptive name of the products, because we're going to add multiple definitions for this. So we can also just call it the name of the product itself. So but for the most part, it'll be easy to put product 1. But once you do it, you'll get a hang of it and it'll be clear. So you add that in. Next, we're going to add a single line text, and this is for the coordinates, the X and Y coordinates for the dot. So here, as you can see, we have horizontal position, vertical position. When I change this, then you see the dot will move. And so we want to save these values in a meta field, which will be pulled right over here. So we need to have a place to store those. So here it would be best if we would call it, let's say, desktop. There's an XY value for desktop and for mobile. So here we can call desktop, and then let's say 1, which corresponds to product 1. Sorry, XY1. But again, you can call it whatever you want to do, whatever you want, as long as you remember the name when you're in the theme editor and you want to assign that specific value. And then we would add another one for mobile. And that's essentially it for one product. So we're going to have multiple products, right? So let's add in another product 2, desktop XY2, mobile XY2, and let's add just one more. Product 3. Mobile XY3. All right. So we have now a bundle that can hold three products in it. Now, generally speaking, as a side note, let's say you're going to have blog posts that some have 3, maybe others have 4 products, and so on. So you'd have to put in the maximum number of like these 3 triplets, let's call them, into this object so that you have space to add it in later. You'll understand more once we get further down the instructions, but generally that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have as many products as you think you're going to have. And of course, later you can always add in more if you don't know that you're going to need more than that. But so let's stick with 3. So we're done with that. Make sure storefronts is checked here and save. So now we have this saved. Next step is to add the entries, to actually create the bundle itself. So we could start adding entries just clicking right over there, but let's do it from the beginning. So we have we go back here. Let's just refresh that so we can see that we have a meta field, a meta object, excuse me. So here we have shop the look, and right now there are no entries, so we can add an entry. Another way to do it when you're in all meta objects, you could just click here and then add a entry to shop the look. So here we have all the fields that we can enter in. So here let's call this bundle for blog post. Let's select a featured image. Let's select this one. For mobile, let's leave that blank for now, but generally, like I mentioned, if you want to have a different format of an image or different proportions, let's say a portrait image or something that's more zoomed in, then you can add that in here. That'll only appear on the in a mobile device. Next, let's add the first product. So the first product, let's just put in this one. Desktop and mobile, we'll have to add that in later because we don't know them yet. We don't know the position of the dots to be, so we can leave that blank for now. The second product, let's choose that. And then the third product, let's choose that. Okay, so we have the 3. And now we can save. Next is to add the definition to the page template itself. So what we do is we go into settings, and then you click on custom data, and then over here, blog posts. So you click on blog posts. So there's no definitions assigned to any blog posts yet. So let's add a definition. So that definition, we can call this shop the look as well. and then select the type. We're going to be selecting the meta object that we just created. Meta object. And now it's asking to select the meta object. So we would click here and do shop the look. Make sure this is one entry, storefronts is checked, and save. All right, so now we have that. And the last step, this step actually, what it does is it gives us the option for each blog post to assign a shop the look meta object, like a bundle. Now we want to go to a specific blog post and assign that bundle that we just created. So we'll go out, go to online store, blog posts, and then let's just say, well, I have, don't have something related to skincare, but that doesn't really matter. We'll go into this post. And then if you scroll all the way down, you see Metafields. We have one definition available. Click on Show All. We have Shop the Look. And then you can click here, Select Entry, Bundle for Blog Post, which is the one we created, and then Save. Now, let's say you have another blog post, you want a different one. So we'd go back, we'd create another entry, right? If you remember, we go into here, Add Entry for Shop the Look, and let's just put in a name. Bundle 2, let's say. I'm not going to add it in because we won't use this in the example, but save. And then if we go back to custom data, blog posts, I'm sorry. And then if we go back to blog posts, so we added one for caring for flowers. Now you can go to flowers in a box, and then you see it's empty because this specific post doesn't have an option. So we would select entry. Now you see we have two. So you'd select the other one. And that's it for this tutorial. That way we already okay. And then, although I'll describe in much more detail later on, and now the next step would be to go to the theme editor and actually enter in the content and everything. So if we go back in, and I explain this much more in depth in a separate video, but generally just to keep a complete understanding of how the metafields work, the meta objects, once we go into the theme editor, let's go to the blog post. So we go to blogs, we added one for caring for flowers. Add section, shop the look. And again, I explain this in the separate video, but generally speaking, once this has been added, you can scroll all the way down. You have image here, which is the featured image. You can click on that. You have the shop the look meta object assigned to the specific post, and you can click that, and there's the image right over there. And here's the place for the image for mobile, which we didn't add in. So let's add the products. So we would add in a product. Over here, we would click on Use Metafields for dynamic content. Over on this icon, shop the look, product 1. And then here on desktop XY, we'd select that, go to shop the look, and do desktop XY1. And for mobile X1. And that's why I was saying that you can use a different name just so it'll be easier to recognize. I use numbers, but of course you could do whatever you want for you, whatever's easier for you. Then we would add another product, product 2, desktop XY2, mobile XY2. And then product 3. And that's it. We click on save. The rest of the content I'll explain in the separate video where we're actually adding content, but the general idea is that you want to use these ranges to adjust, to move these dots. So in order to do that, we also have to uncheck that for a moment, and then adjust the position of the dot that we want it, wherever we want it to be. Let's just say we want it to be on the lips, right over there. Then we have these two numbers, 59, 39. We'd go back to here, 59, 39. And then we would save that. And then, once this is checked back, then this will be reading from that position. And that's it. So check the other video of how to work with this in a little bit more detail, and of course all of the many settings we have to adjust styling and so forth.